CoFun, Coaching Fundamentals, Digitizing Education. CoFun presents videos on project management with a practical approach. All the videos from CoFun are very short videos which consist of only 10 to 20 minutes duration. Objective. The objective of the video is to easily understand the basics of the project management with a simple English. More practical approach like what are the important processes of the project management is required for the project manager and focus mainly on the important concepts of the project management. This is not the reference material for any of the project management exam, and this is more on experience based approach in the Indian IT industry. Reference: the definition of the terms used for the project management taken from PM book 5th edition and from my experience having more than 16 years in the IT industry. Object. Project. What is project? According to PM book, the project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service or result. Let us understand what is temporary endeavor here. It means that the project has definite beginning and end. End means the project has met the objectives or it is terminated for many reasons or project itself no longer needed. Driving factors. Now let us see some of the driving factors for the project. When the project will be created? Most of the time the project will be created to address the specific problem in the industry. Second, when there is a more demand or better return on investment for the future. What is ROI here? For example, if you invest $100 today and it will fetch you more than $100 in the definite time period, and also if it is a recurring returns, then it will be a better ROI. This is not only for the dollar or rupees, this will be applicable for skills, resources, etc. Third one is for better technology and usability. What does it mean? Like upgrading the software or changing from one technology to another or better user experience of the project. For examples, addressing the water scarcity. This is to address a specific problem. Making a movie, mostly for the entertainment. Construction of house or apartments, mostly on a demand basis, and software version upgrade, creating the specific product or tools for better usability. Project management. According to PM book, the definition of the project management is application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques to meet the project requirements. Let us understand the keywords. Application of knowledge. What does it mean? Is it my knowledge or your knowledge? This is a general keyword. Without having the proper knowledge, nothing is possible. Next one is skills. What are the different skills needed? Like we need a technical skills, functional skills, domain skills, etc. The definition for skills or knowledge in the project management definition is almost similar. Next one is tools. Using the different tools like Word, project or customized tool for the specific organization. The next keyword is the techniques. It means, for example, using different development methodologies like waterfall, agile, etc. So the definition is application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques to meet the project requirements. According to PM book, the project management can accomplish through 5 process groups and 47 logically grouped project management processes. Now let us understand the basics of the 5 process groups. Logical group we'll see in the future videos if it is required. The 5 process groups are initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, then closing. Process groups. Now we will see the list of activities involved for each of the phases of the process groups. This is not the complete list, but these are some of the activities involved during the phases. Initiating. Let us see what are the different activities involved in the initiation phase. Business case, RFP, source selection, contract signature, etc. Now let us understand one by one. First one is, what is business case? Business case means to provide the business justification to our top management for initiating the project. If the business case can be related to the justification of the monetary return, then there is more possibility of the project will get approved. RFP, request for proposal. The RFP means once the project has been finalized, this will be sent to the different vendors for how best the project can be executed. The details of the RFP we will see in the contract management videos. Next one is source selection, selecting the vendors for executing the project. Identify the technology, etc. will come under source selection. Next one is contract signature. For example, once the vendor has been selected, then we will get into a contract for executing the project, contract for procuring the hardware, software devices, etc. Next process group is planning. Now let us see what are the different activities involved in the planning phase. Finalize the scope, development methods, schedule, resource and risks, etc. Finalize the scope. This is the first and foremost important activity for the project manager. Finalize the scope. Sometimes the customer themselves not clear about the scope. So the project manager should be very clear to understand and finalize the scope before starting the project. Any deviation from the finalized scope will follow the change control processes. The impact on schedule and the cost should be highlighted at the initial stage itself. If the scope is not finalized, then the project will not be completed on time and within the defined budget. We will understand more the details on the scope management videos. Development methods. Finalize the development methodology, like whether it is a waterfall, agile, etc. Each one has its own advantage and disadvantage. For example, if the scope is not clear and if it will change frequently, means it is better to go ahead with the agile methodology. Finalize the schedule, like when are we starting and ending the project, what are the different phases involved and what are the different deliverables we need to make for each phases. These are some of the activities that we need to finalize in the schedule. It is always smart to get a sign off from the customer about the deliverables before starting the project. Finalize the resource means identify the team, different level of access needed for the project, etc. Risks identification. This is also most important element for the project. Initially, we will identify the standard risks for the project. The problem in the risk identification process is most of the times the PM do not have clear vision about the project. Hence, most of the projects we are always reactive for the risks occurred. It is better to discuss with the experienced people in the organization to identify the risks. Executing some of the activities like finalize the design, like high level design, low level design, completing the development, the testings like unit testing, system testing, user acceptance testing, etc. and implementation. These are some of the activities involved in the execution phase. Monitoring and controlling. This is the important process for the project manager. Most of the inexperienced PMs will fail here. There are a lot of activities involved in this process, like monitor the scope, budget, keeping the resource, handle the risks, etc. This is one of the most important challenges for the project manager. Unless the PM is very clear about the project requirements and how to control if there is a deviation, then there is a high possibility of PM will fail to execute the project. This is not good for individual as well as for an organization. Closing the project means once the objectives are met or it is terminated. Project manager roles and responsibilities. To lead the team that is responsible for achieving the project objectives and to ensure the project completed on time, within budget and the required quality. This is the straight definition. There is no need of more explanation here.
The next one is, let us understand the project manager characteristics. Let us spend some time here to understand the characteristics required for the project manager. First one is, understand the project vision and mission. The PM should be very clear on the objective of the project. This is the important characteristics to control the project to meet its objective. Second one is people manager. The project manager should be a good people manager. This deals with balancing the team and management in the project. There may be a different kinds of people. The PM should know how to manage them and take them along with him to meet the project objectives. Most of the time, the PM is doing this activity only in the typical Indian IT industry. Political and cultural awareness. This is the very important characteristics for the project manager. If the project manager can able to handle it properly, then there will be a good growth in the organization irrespective of the project success. For example, Jack Welch, management guru, in one of his books he mentioned, do not complain about your boss in a superior. Most of the time it will impact you. I have personally experienced this, so please do not do that. Hence, balancing the team and the management is the important characteristics for the project manager to succeed. Technically competent. Most of the project management book says there is no need of PM can be technically competent, but according to my experience, if the project manager is technically competent, then he or she can able to manage the project very well. Challenges for the PM. First one is a lot of responsibility but no authority. This is the true statement. In most of the cases, the project manager don't have any authority to take a decision. Resource availability. This is always a challenge to get the right resource at right time. Always there will be a struggle to get the right resources for the project requirement. Multiple level approvals needed for procuring the software and hardware. Most of the time the budget constraint will be there at the account level to get the requested approvals. Pushing more trainees to the project, execute the project with the more number of trainees to achieve the profit ratio of the project and also constrained on the experienced resources. Appraisal. This is the most important challenge to fit the normalization curve in the project. Most of the conflicts will arise during this time and the project manager should be able to handle it politically well for the project success. This cannot be avoided at any time. Summary. Managing the project typically means managing the software development life cycle, that is planning, analysis, design and implementation. The PM may not be involved in the initiation phases in most of the projects. That's it for the project management overview. My next video on scope management. Request you to write your feedback on manikandan@co-fund.com.